Hello and welcome to another episode of the Back2Warcraft podcast. This is number 11. 11 days, 11 podcasts. I don't know, 11 weeks in. It is June 3rd, 2021, and I am joined by a man I haven't seen in quite some time. He's been on vacation. He's been MIA. He's been enjoying his freedom. It is Neo. Neo, how are you?
I've been looking for freedom for so long, brother. I'm relaxed. I'm excited. I'm good. Oh man, I haven't felt this good in forever. And my vacation just started, so I wonder what peak Neo is gonna be in the last week of June. But yeah, a little bit of a rocky road to start the vacation. But apart from that, I think I kind of arrived in vacation land now.
You're used to it now. It was a little weird at first. There was some stuff you still had to handle, even though but you weren't casting. You weren't doing any coverage, which is like a vacation in itself, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of behind the scenes work even isn't too bad. But now you feel you're in vacation mode. What is vacation mode for Neo? Did you sleep 3 days straight? Like what?
I got home Monday at around noon from Meisterschaft because we were in Berlin, and I ordered some food. Like nasty McDonald's stuff, really disgusting. Like nothing.
Couple of dirty burgers, eh? Just a couple of dirty burgers.
Actually, some nuggets as well, and shrimp and stuff. Like just nasty fried stuff and burgers. And I ate them in bed. That was great.
Wait, hold on a sec. Shrimp from McDonald's?
Yeah, man, fried shrimp.
What the hell are you guys doing in German McDonald's?
It's like a special or something. Because it's summer or whatever. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was a little too fried for my taste, but yeah, like McDonald's shrimp, but what can you expect? It was just good. So I spent all day in bed, then I slept until Tuesday morning, I think. So almost an entire day. And then Tuesday, I handled some stuff regarding WGL qualifiers and stuff like that. And nothing really too fancy that day. Yesterday, I met up with a friend. We spent the entire day in parks because it's allowed to drink outside again. And bars are opening their outdoor areas again. So that was a good one. Just walking around, enjoying nature a little bit, enjoying a couple of beers. That was fun. Day was a little hungover. Who would have thought? And then I watched hockey.
Shit.
I had a hockey day. All the sticks on the ice, all the pucks on the net, all that stuff. It's a World Cup going on or something, and Germany is decent, but not that great in hockey, especially compared to the great nation of Canada, right? Oh, Canada.
Well, Roberto Luongo picked the team for this season. He didn't do a good job. I think Canada's dog shit right now. They just picked a bunch of ringers, and with a bunch of kids. But
it's NHL playoffs at the same time, right? So you can't pick your superstars anyway.
That's true.
We had basically a derby against Switzerland today in the quarterfinals, and that match was epic. We were down 0-2 and looked hopeless as Switzerland was the big favorite. Had back-to-back finals before, and here we are, a little underdog team from the Germanys, and they fought back like wild lions. End of the second, third, they scored the 1-2, and there was hope again. It was hope.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, baby. And they fought the entire third, not quarter, third? It's third, whatever.
Yeah, there's final first period, second period,
yeah.
Third period.
Third period then. And they fought. And they tried. And they threw their bodies in everything. And they couldn't get the goal. So they took the goalie off the ice 1 minute down, and they pass and they pass and they pass, and it's 20 seconds on the clock, and boom, they score into overtime, baby.
There it is. Man advantage, pulled the goalie. There it is.
Classic.
There it is.
Absolute
Beauty.
Classic. Everybody overjoyed, but then, of course, there's overtime. We know pretty wild attacks from Swiss coming, but our goalie, the Kraken, the Riga Kraken, got everything, and that was penalties.
Oh, no, you took a penalty in OT? Wait, they called penalties in OT?
No. Overtime was over. And then there was...
okay. Penalty shots. Penalty shots.
Yeah, shootout.
Hell yeah.
And we miss. And they miss. And they miss again. And we miss. And then they score. And then there's pressure on us. But we got nerves of steel, buddy. And we got the 1-1. And then our goalie got the 5th shot, and it's our man starts, and he pulls off the greatest shot in hockey history, and boom, it's a 2-1, and Germany is in the semifinals. It was epic.
Damn.
I love hockey.
Absolute dangles, sweet sellies. Everyone's buzzing on all cylinders. I love to see that. I love the passion you have in hockey. Obviously, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but that was great. I mean, you watched that whole game. Were you hammered or what? Like...
No, I watched the whole game. I was a little hungover, so I had a kebab as well during hockey time. And it's kind of cool because, you know, they are not millionaires. These guys are playing there. They're just in to represent the country and play the big tournament. And it was really, really cool to see how it's just a bunch of buddies. You know, it's not like the football squad we got where they're all come across as arrogant and stuff. Just a bunch of dudes playing a game, and very successfully so. It was fun. It was cool. I was a little emotional, actually. It was great. Yeah, that's my hockey day. So, semifinals on Saturday, grand final on Sunday. Gonna be great.
Who are you guys playing in the semis, you know?
I don't know, man. I think US is still in, Canada is still in, and Czech Republic, I think. Or Finland, I'm not sure.
I see. But you beat Canada already, right?
We did beat you, indeed.
So if it's Canada, not so bad. US is pretty strong, and then Czechs are always good. That's cool, man. That's cool. You're enjoying yourself, watching a little bit of telly, you know, hanging out. Going out. Is it weird? You know what's weird for me is this weekend, you know, you were gone, but we casted
everything.
Next. Yeah, we casted a lot of shit. Basically it was like 4 days straight, I think. And I think finally on the Monday, after I did ESL Cup Europe, I went outside, and I don't know if it was like the light or the heat, but I had to like squint. Like I was like squinting because like the brightness, but like I could feel the vitamin D.
Oh yeah.
Going into my body. Is that from the sun? Vitamin D, right?
That is the sun indeed. At the exact
vitamin
same
C.
feeling.
Vitamin C is in the orange juice. But I could feel the vitamin D like entering, and I was like, dude, like I gotta go outside more.
Yep. There's something.
Do you get that feeling too?
Oh yeah. We have a pretty big terrace, so I put on my noise canceling headphones so the neighbors don't annoy me, and I sit on the terrace and I just listen to music for like 6 hours straight. And yeah, Wednesday I went out as well. Super sunny. I feel it too, man. It's like your energy level is just rising by the minute. It's crazy. We should really go out more, man.
Yeah, you don't understand like how much your body needs like sunlight when you like deprive it for so long. Like I think I didn't go out from, you know, Friday morning until Monday afternoon. I didn't go outside. It's crazy. I had to go to Costco. I remember driving to Costco Friday afternoon, and it was like super packed, and I was like, nope, not waiting in line. So I just went back home. I ordered food because that's how I roll. But then I finally went yesterday morning, an hour after they opened, and it was like dead as a daisy. So I got my shopping done. But you feel that, man, when you go outside after a while. And I gotta encourage people, if you're listening to the podcast or whatever, go outside, man. It's good for you. Just sit on your porch, you know, go outside, maybe go for a run or something. The sun is good for you, man.
Yeah, I don't run because then I sweat, and I hate sweat, but going for a walk. I have the harbor pretty close here, like 5 minutes by foot. So there's a little park. There's chill in the park, watching the boats, yell at the birds. Yeah, that's what I do. How is it to be the captain of the Back2Warcraft team right now? Because real good thing about you, people might not know this. You're just stepping up to the occasion, man. You're just taking responsibility when it's needed. You're basically leading the team now.
You like that, eh? Yeah, I mean, I've begun the process of the hostile takeover while you're gone. It's slowly chipping away. Eventually, I give it another 2 months and 2 weeks and everything will be completely mine. But no. I think I enjoy it. It's a good team. Everyone's pretty good. Everyone wants to work. Everyone's excited. Neo's smiling, but it doesn't seem hard to me. Cool. I've only been doing it for 3 days, but 4 days or whatever. But no, it's a lot of fun. And yep, I told you that you can go on vacation and the ship will still sail straight, and it's still sailing straight so far, and it's pretty good. Actually, as we're recording this, Carson is live with Theorycraft right now because it is Thursday. So he's live right now. It's like 4:14 p.m. So he's been live for like 15 minutes doing Orc Day. That'll be on YouTube. But by the time you see this, if you're patrons, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Yeah, it hasn't been an issue, man. I enjoy it, of course.
How was casting next for you? Because it was super early, and production-wise, it was always a little different with the Chinese, right?
Yeah, so pros and cons. Super fucking early. It was 4 a.m. for me, which means it was 1 a.m. for Carson. Carson ended up staying up some nights just to get it done. So the con was I was sleeping the whole weekend. Like a big reason why I didn't go outside that whole weekend was because I would go to sleep at like 6, 7 in the afternoon. I would wake up at 1 or 2 in the morning. I would get the link. I would set up the stream. Carson would come in. We would do it. The stream is the easiest part. It's literally 2 buttons. If you're doing a restream, you just go to our cameras and then you just go to the actual stream and they do all the work. They show the bracket. They show this and that. We don't have to do anything. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, just like the earliness, man, that was rough. I mean, when I say I wrote off my entire weekend off, because I was off that weekend from work, I wrote it off. Like I was sleeping the whole time. I was very in zombie mode, doing that. But it was good. The games were sick. It's not every day that we get to see the Asian pros go. So that was a lot of fun. Some good games. You get used to casting EU and NA, but when you go over there, everything's done correctly. Exactly the way you see it in the guides, exactly the way you see it when people are explaining it. It's actually done correctly. It makes it easier to cast as well. I actually think casting pros is easier than casting amateurs or semi-pros because they do it by the book and you know exactly what they're doing for the most part, unless they're infy. And then you just it just seems really easy. So pros, great games. The production too, like the delays were so minimal.
Cool.
Like I'm talking they took a 4-minute break in between series and the games were up so quickly. Like nice. They would show the next map and then they would hop right into it. I have to say, man, kudos to the NetEase, I guess it's NetEase admins. They really got the games flowing. There wasn't a time where we weren't waiting for a game more than a minute and a half.
Sick. That's really good.
It was really good. Yeah, some streams were like 3 hours, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. It was so good, which I thought was really quick.
Yeah, and that is like on NetEase. Sometimes you have these join bugs, right, where you start the game and one player is disconnecting or can't join the lobby or something. So either that didn't happen or they really prepared well.
They did randomly throw a 30-minute break before the finals or the semifinals, I think, and I was like,
that's
weird. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I don't think we could talk for this long, so we took like a 15-20 minute break or something as well. Fine. But it was nice to like go. I think Carson made breakfast, like I made something to eat or something, and it was great. And then we just came back. But no, the event was great. It's just the early hours were. Yeah, I wrote off my entire weekend. But the good thing is, because I was waking up so early, I could do the ESL Cup. I could do the ESL Cup, so that was good as well. So it was good.
The Canada boys getting comfortable on the big broadcast, eh? Last year it was WCG, then of course you do DreamHack, and now it's Next as well. It's a takeover.
Yeah, did you watch any of that or no?
I watched a bunch of Next, indeed. Saturday before I went to Berlin. What's my microphone stand doing? Before I went to Berlin, I watched pretty much all of it.
Nice.
You did good. You look good.
You like the jacket? I was rocking the jacket.
You did. I like that. It's always like it's so simple to just put on a jacket or a shirt or something, but it adds this extra value thingy.
A little bit. Yeah, I was wearing like this shirt, I think, like with the jacket over top. Like it wasn't rocking a 3-piece or anything like that, looking like a snack, but I was looking pretty good. No, I think like a tournament like that, you should show it a little bit of respect. I think I respect Next tournament. And then like after day one, it seemed like a no-brainer because like the admins were doing so well getting the games going. The communication was great. It just made it easier for me. So, and yeah, it adds a little bit of spice to it as well. Like if you see guys waking up at like 4 a.m. with a jacket on, like, okay, this is legit, you know?
Yeah, that's sometimes the coolest part because if it's early, chat is usually very, very good. And you just wake up for that. I don't know. It's for me, it's cooler to cast at like 6 a.m. than it is to cast at around noon. It's just something special because it's oftentimes something big as well. I don't know. I gotta. Some people might complain like, oh, I have to set my alarm to 4 a.m. It's gonna be so difficult, but I love it, man. Like, everything is quiet and peaceful, and you brew that first coffee, and once again, it's the energy levels, you feel it rising, you take a shower, and then you're just ready to go. Nothing is distracting you, nobody is messaging you. Prior to the broadcast, really can just focus a lot more if it's that early. I love it.
Yeah, you can hear the birds chirping as well. It's pretty great. The sun's just coming up.
Fuck the
so
birds.
It's like... But what was I going to say? I was going to say something off of that, and it was a good point. Fuck, I forget.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
I have really bad memory, though. Do you have good memory? I have really bad memory.
I think
my memory, I don't know what happened. I didn't do drugs as a kid. Like, I don't know what happened.
Maybe alcohol. Maybe you're just getting older. Maybe you just don't exercise your brain too much. Like, it's not like we did in school, right, where we do homework all the time, then learn for tests and stuff. I think
I wasn't good at that either, though.
I can imagine.
No, I wasn't. I think I have like some attention deficit thing.
Oh yeah,
like attention to detail thing. Yeah,
that is. I mean,
you could probably confirm, having worked with me for a bit. Like, my parents never got me tested. They would just say, well, go play outside. Like, a lot of kids like my age, like, with the same thing, were on like medication or something. My parents were like, no, just let him go run outside like a kid, But yeah, there's definitely something wrong with me.
But there's also a lot of things right with you. Yeah,
so like it's a good thing, because like I bring a lot of energy and stuff, but there's times where like I'll forget. Like, you'll tell me something on Monday and then I'll forget it. Like, I won't remember it. And like, I heard what you said when you said it, and like, if I get reminded, I'll be like, oh, but like, I don't remember, and it's a scary thing.
That was so funny. Like last podcast, I told the story with the Russians, right? And then I wanted to go all out clickbaity title, because I don't know, why not? We can't do that really with other YouTube videos, so just F it. And I put "Why Neo Hates Russians" in the title. Ricky is like, wait, did we talk about that? Did we talk about Russians? I was like, dude, just listen to me. Yeah, you didn't reply, but I talked about it. Maybe it
I promise you, even right now, I have no idea what you said. I would have to go back. Like, I don't remember that at all. So like, when you did that title, I was like, well, what the hell? Did we talked about Russians? And I still, to this day, don't remember what you said.
Okay, so let's see if it works. If you remember it when I kind of retell the story. So I told you that I have this one quiet place in my house where
the Russian music spamming.
Exactly.
Oh, there it is. See, like, I had no idea. Yeah, the rave music late at night. Okay. Yeah, see, that's what it. Dude, I had no idea until I get that jog memory. There's something wrong, Neil. There's something wrong, man.
Oh man, but you get it. Like, 3 words is enough, and you get it. That's cool.
Yeah, I was listening there, so that means I was listening. It just gets lost in the cerebellum. I don't know what it goes up there, and I don't know. It's I don't know what's going on. But
we're also getting older, man.
Yeah, I'm not that old.
How old are you?
Speak for yourself, you old bag. But no, I don't know. I'm kind of getting. I'm older.
Yeah, 28 is fine.
I'm the oldest I've ever been.
True, very true, very wise.
So like, all of me, this is the oldest version.
The latest version. Yeah. All updated.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's not updated, but it is the oldest version. You wanted to talk about Reddit. I was on Reddit. Did you see me on Reddit? Talk about pigs.
Yeah, man. And
Trash and Blizzard.
This is something I want. This is something I want to praise, because we talked about it maybe 2 episodes before. That there's basically no activity, and that people don't use clips and post them somewhere. And you guys out there, you listeners out there, you stepped up, especially Forks. Shout out once again to the Brazilian cast of Forks. And there are a lot of clips now. There's a lot of content. There were even like praises for new maps. There is questions that are interesting. There was like a little question by a guy like, how do I quick shop something from my base and stuff? That was super cool. Reddit in the past week is really, really nice, with one exception. That is one troll guy that we keep on banning, and he keeps on coming back and spreads negativity about the undead race, but then we ban him again, and it takes some time, he comes back, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, all you diehards out there who are stepping up now and sending in these posts, this is amazing. This is really, really cool. And I think it's also very important that people do this. And we can't do it all. And I think it's easy to do. You watch a stream on your PC, on your desktop, and you see a cool moment, you clip it, you post it, it's done. And I hope you will continue doing that, folks out there. Don't be lazy. You as a community member, you can do a little work too to support the scene. And so far, I mean, during this podcast, I was ranting a lot, and I was complaining, and I was not satisfied a lot. So this is me changing things a little and giving praise because I'm very happy with that development.
Yeah, I've noticed the Reddit has been going up. You made the best example, and I'll iterate it again. People are sharing them, but not on Reddit. Like, for example, people are in a Discord and they'll post the clip and they'll get reactions from 4 or 5 people. Everyone will laugh. Take that clip as well, post on Reddit with a little title. You can make it whatever you want. Like, it's that simple. Like, because I notice, like, when I'm in the Discords, I see these funny clips and the people like want to show funny moments in the game, but then they're not on Reddit. And it's like, put it on Reddit. Like, I might cut your grass and take your clip, bro. And then it's my karma. Don't you want the karma?
Oh, everybody wants that karma. Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants that Reddit karma, right?
Exactly. Don't you want the karma? Just if you're gonna put it on a Discord with your friends, just put it on Reddit as well. People will appreciate you for it.
Yeah. Speaking of karma, there was one guy who was posting about, it's fair to say we had a good run, July 3rd, 2002 to present, and says, oh, this game is so dead, blah 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 blah. But again, you guys stepped up and you told him how wrong he is, and this is probably the best state this game has ever been in with War 3 Champions and DreamHack ESL, etc., etc., etc. He had like 12 replies or something. All of them were just bashing him. Some very intelligently explaining like what's going on and why it's so good. Others, of course, like, oh, fuck you. But I mean, the topic was provocative, right? You go to someone's house and you shit on the desk. What do you expect, right? So it's okay to curse a little at him, I guess, or her, whatever.
Well, I think you take your licks. I mean, kudos for him for stepping up. He had an opinion. You know, people are on there like for the same reason I post a funny clip. Someone could say like this is weird and not funny. Like you know, you never know what you're gonna get. But yeah, I read that unfortunately, and I didn't remember that. That's a good thing. I erased that one from the memory, but that was a really bad post. I agree with you. I think Warcraft 3 is in the best state it's been for a very long time. And it's great.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that the people in the scene were just... I was a little afraid of looking into the comments of that topic because it could have been like...
What if they agree?
What if they agree? If it's going to be an echo chamber, screw that. But nope, blasting him, contradicting him. So I was very, very happy with Reddit this week. Shout out to almost all of you.
Yep, that's good. That's good. We got some stuff coming up. We got WGL. We're actually running the Western qualifiers, which is really exciting. It's great that WGL has let us into the tent. I think they've invited some players for the most part, but sometimes they're just straight Asia only. So it's good. I don't know what the prize pool is yet, but I imagine it'll be similar. I mean, maybe a little bit less, but still it'll be a big prize pool, probably comparable to last season, correct? The winter from last year. All the prize pools are relatively the same. It's
a little tricky because they do something similar to the international now. First of all, the Westerners were always part of GCS except the first episode.
Okay.
But yeah, nice that we keep that spot because like the Blade incidents last time where he no-showed and didn't deliver any media and refused the interviews, etc., that could have cost us a spot or two. Like, why would they care? I mean, of course they want Foggy. He's fan favorite and all, but that Blade behavior could have cost the Western scene, and I'm really, really cool that they understand that it was just this one guy acting super degenerate, super hurtful, and that this guy doesn't stand for the scene, but rather Foggy, Back2Warcraft, whatever. So that was really cool. Shout out to Rob for that. And yeah, as I said, they have a monetization model pretty similar to the international, so you can buy skins, avatars, I don't know, little glowy stuff, whatever, and that gets added to the prize pool. So it's kind of hard to predict how much this is going to be.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's safe to say that it'll probably be quite a bit, enough to participate in, worth your while.
Oh yeah.
So we got qualifiers this weekend. We're taking 2 slots from each qualifier. We're taking 4 people, and they will join the 4 invites, which I think are still pending, but we pretty much have them locked in. And basically, we'll have 8 players in a Western qualifier, closed qualifier, and then 2 of those players will move on to the main event, as normal is normal with WGL. 2 players will join 14 Asians. It'll be 16 players. Top 8 get paid, and I think last event top 8 was guaranteed 1,500. Quite a bit of change. Yeah, I think first place was 40,000. Quite a bit of money.
Yeah, very top heavy.
Yeah, I get frustrated now, because the invites went by ELO rating. So Hitman obviously got an invite. He's ranked 4 in the world right now. It's fucking crazy.
What?
And it's also a big testament to how the ELO system does not work. Like, you can't have a cross ELO system with regional tournaments. Do you know what I mean? Because you get Happy farming Europe, you get Hitman farming NA, and then like for some reason Happy's 1 and Hitman's 4, and it's like that's a little crazy. I mean, I love Hitman, but you're not ranked 4. So we have that. But anyway,
he didn't drop a map.
Well, he's farming the ESL Cup wins too, like so like the NA ESL Cup, like he's just got a sheet of green all the way down. So it's a little ELO cross server ELO with regional locked tournaments is I think the main factor, but still deep runs and cups as well. So
I think it's still a good indicator to see how far someone is ahead from the second space in his region. Like, you have to do a little trick with your brain to maybe dissect the 1 ranking into 3 rankings for Europe, America, etc. But it's a little unfair because Fog is of course playing a lot of Asians on bad ping conditions that doesn't get calculated into the ELO, while others always play on perfect conditions, always win. So if you take a risk, well then you can drop ELO points, but it's still a very, very good ranking that is working very, very well, I think.
Yeah, and this is an issue I have, okay? WGL comes up. I'm just assuming that the prize pool is the same. Okay, even if it's cut in half, it's still a lot of money,
it's still the biggest tournament, like by far.
It's still the biggest tournament. And so my job as a dust manager is to give my players the best opportunity to play. Okay, there's open qualifiers, but if there's a direct invite, which Hitman and Cruncher were eligible for because their ELO is high, my job is to say, hey man, grind through a couple of Europe players, become the 2 seeds in there, and then you just have to come out of a dust group, which is a 4-man group, right? Top 2 advance, and you win money, a lot of money. Mm-hmm. In fact, 1,500 is basically an entire circuit of DreamHack if you're a North American. Yeah. So it makes no fucking sense if I'm allowing you to skip the open qualifiers and play a 2-day qualifier and then a group stage. That seems less to me than a whole month circuit for the same money. And
True.
In Hitman's case, I got a little upset. Although I understand he could do whatever the fuck he wants. I got a little upset because the main event is going to be on, the Western qualifier is going to be Flow good hosting, so it's not a big deal. But the main event is going to be on NetEase. And I know that he'll have 150 ping to other people's like 30. But he played hundreds, maybe thousands of games on NetEase for free. And you've beaten all the people that will be in there. All the top 14 that join you, they're all Asians that you've beaten on NetEase, probably at least 5 to 10 times each. Okay, it's doable. And you did that for free, motherfucker. This time, we're going to put you in a group. If you upset people, you'll win a lot of money. If you don't, nobody's going to hold it against you. And it's a lot of money. Now, I know that the times are always an issue. Like, he'll probably be playing at like 2 a.m. or something ridiculous because I don't think they're going to cater to that. I think it's at like 5 or 6 p.m. their time. So the timing's going to suck for the main event. But it's like, it's on a weekend. It could be a week-long thing. I don't know if you can make it work, but I was just kind of upset. It's like, dude, there's a potential here for, if you have a great run, you can make like tens of thousands of dollars. You're the best player in the world. What is the point of grinding all the netties and getting yourself to that skill level if you're not going to give it a shot here for the big bucks?
It's a very good point, and I think in Europe we have the same situation since Happy is declining all the invites to Chinese tournaments for a while since he split with LF. I think it's a very personal thing to decline for like personal reasons. They don't like to play on it. Well, I don't really get that. Of course, I've never played on that level. I was never a competitor, but from my perspective, I just don't get it. Happy has won tournaments on netties before playing from Russia. Foggy as well. They've beaten the best in the best. You said it, Hitman on ladder there as well.
Hitman had 3 accounts rank 1 netties.
Yep.
Each with hundreds of games played per season. Like, it's not a matter of time. It's not a matter of time. Oh, it's a waste of time. Dude, you've wasted more time for no gain. You know, like Happy's case, I think, is a little different because WGL fucked him over with prize money, didn't they? They like jerked him around for too long. What was the event that did it? It was a Chinese event.
Probably Bidoux.
Was it Bidoux? And he just wrote off all Chinese events after that?
Probably. I have to research it, but
he did have to chase that money though. So I understand how he's like, fuck that whole region. I'm good where I am, you know? Because I think he had to
get it at some point, like especially with WGL being associated with or run by netties associated with Blizzard. They will pay. Like, it takes some time, but they will pay.
Maybe it's just the whole like stance that they take on ping now. I won't play with more than 100 ping. I won't play with more than 80 ping. Maybe that's what it is, which is also a huge issue. So.
Yeah, but to me, it also feels like they are just throwing money out the window. Like,
hey, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
when are you going to get an opportunity to get first place $40,000 for Warcraft 3? Because next year, I don't know if it's going to be there. 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, we don't know.
Yeah.
Take it. What is the point of playing at this level and trying to get you're beyond us. You're beyond the plebs. You're an actual pro at the game. Why not? Like, if Hitman lost out in the group stage like 2-0-2-0, nobody would hold it against him. But if he won, it would be fucking dope because you did it on netties. Nobody even gave you that shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of comparable to, I don't know, a football player who's really good at dribblings, let's say Messi or Zidane or whatever, and then it's raining, so the rain is the ping difference, right? And Messi would be saying, oh, dude, no, I can't really do my dribblings when the grass is wet, so I'd rather not play. Coach, don't put me in. Or I don't know, in the NFL playoffs, it's always super cold, the Packers Stadium or something. If they say, oh man, if I hit the ground here, it really hurts, so I'd rather not play the NFL playoffs then. That's basically the same thing. Like, yeah, it's just inconvenient.
The equivalent example would be Messi in his backyard in the rain practicing to get at that level, and then at the main event, when it rains, going, no, not for me. Yeah. Like, dude, you practiced the whole time for this. You're ready for this, except this time you're going to benefit. It stresses me out, dude. So, like, I have to, like, there comes a point where I just get frustrated and I go, okay, you don't want to play? Fine. But, like, I did my job.
Yep.
I don't know what more I can do for you.
Yep.
And then I just try to move on because I'm just going to get pissed and I'm just going to fucking get mad.
Yep.
But I'm not going to get mad.
Nope.
I'm just going to say, okay, you know what? You've been doing this for two and a half years, spamming these games on netties, but all of a sudden, chance for 40,000, you don't want to take it? Okay. All right. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but do what you want to do, my friend.
Feels like he's chickening out of competition. He seems scared to me.
It could be a confidence thing. Could be a confidence thing.
War 3 champions, not playing WGL. He's just afraid of good players.
Get him, Neo. Get him, Neo. Wait,
I mean,
you don't mind beating up all the NA plebs, eh? But when the big boys come, you're scared like a little chicken.
Yeah. I mean, he's taking fights with the War 3 champions team on Discord, but not with the world's best players. It's kind of what it is, isn't it?
I don't know. There's a bunch of factors there. I mean, the War 3 champions thing is a thing in itself. But when I get confused because he would grind 16-hour days on netties, and you know the ping wasn't an issue for your practice. The ping wasn't an issue. The time consumed wasn't an issue, but you know show up 3 days.
Yeah,
that's an issue.
Exactly. He has nothing to lose, or they have nothing to lose, as he's not the only one, of course. I'm peeking.
He has nothing to lose. You're absolutely right. If he lost 2-0, even to like 15 Sway and Alice, nobody would hold it against him. Not to take, like, they're probably the weakest of the 14 that would probably be there. But like if he lost, nobody would hold against him. If you come out of that group, $1,500 plus maybe. If you win the quarterfinals, you're going up to 10, 12,000. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And
it was crazy, man.
It was super fun seeing Axlord there, right? And he innovated a lot playing this tournament. Like, after that tournament, everybody picked up on the Crypt Lord, and he had a super crazy series against Fly, and everyone was so happy for him and cheering for him when the games went good. But nobody is harping at him when you lose games at WGL playing from home. Everybody knows you're playing from home. That is always your excuse. Like, or even the community says it. This ping, let them meet on LAN. We'll see how it goes. But
exactly,
nobody will blame you for a loss at WGL if you're playing from home. Like,
I think the narrative is becoming more and more that way too. Like, if you lost online isn't as significant. Let's settle this offline. Whenever that is, right? Yeah. Like, people think that Happy's the greatest. Maybe he is, but I'm not going to give him that accolade until he goes back offline and beats everyone. Hitman, they think Hitman's like top 5 in the world. I'm not going to give him that accolade until we get to LAN and see what happens.
Yeah.
See, because it's a whole new competition. It's nerves. It's the moment, maybe a crowd. Maybe it's a different atmosphere. Can you win offline versus online? You know, you could be an online hero, but yeah, I just don't like, I don't even think like if he lost any online thing or won any online thing, it doesn't weigh nearly as much as an offline performance.
I feel it does if you pull like a crazy run like Happy did and win a tournament or go top 4 in a big Asian tournament. Like, how hard is that? How much better than your opponent do you have to be to pull that off? And that makes you a star.
Happy definitely proved that he was the best player in the world in 2019.
Yeah.
When he beat Moon in WGL summer, I think it was summer.
Yeah.
When he beat him 3-1, it was convincing. And this guy just came from Europe, came to Asia for the first time, played this event, and destroyed everyone. Yeah. And it was like, okay, he's the greatest. But then the next one, I think he lost to Lin. So it was like, okay, he's beatable.
It was a final. And then what's the grand final?
Right, but then he's beatable.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. Like, the major tournament dictates who the best player and best team in the world is. Like, that's the way it is. And that was a year ago, you know? So like, I wouldn't give it to him now. Everyone's getting better. Everyone's playing better. You know what's crazy though is the thought that, you know, Lin and Moon and all them, they play each other in their own region, which is the top region. They are playing the best of the best of the best of the best every time. And to think that maybe Happy in Europe or Hitman in NA could go there for a weekend and beat them is a fucking crazy thought in itself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Happy's been practicing against Foggy.
Shows the strength of Western Warcraft is what you're kind of trying to say.
Yeah, like, it's crazy that people would actually consider it, because you look at, like, if you think of it like Dragon Ball Z, like a hyperbolic time chamber. I mean, like, Hitman's been practicing with like King Kai. You know, because NA is like the weakest level of fucking training. You know, Happy's been doing like, you know, the gravity chamber at 100 times gravity, but like the Asians have been doing like the hyperbolic time chamber itself. Like, they've been in the best of the best conditions. And then, like, to think that maybe like if we have this offline tournament in China coming up this year, like that Hitman and Happy could really hold it down. And honestly, I think Cruncher could too. I think a lot more Europeans could too. I think Foggy could too. I think Xlord could too. It's crazy to think that not the same conditions that these players can still bang with the Asians. I feel
like the ping is really bad, I think, for US East and Europe Central, right? So if you're closer to Russia, then the ping gets better, obviously. If you're getting closer to the West Coast, the ping gets better to NetEase, if I'm not mistaken. So I can totally understand all the Central European players or the East Coast players not playing, because that is like 200 ping is really rough. You might have disconnects here and there. That does happen. So yeah, that is really rough. But I think US West and Eastern Europe is playable.
I think it would hit, man.
People show it.
when Hitman was grinding netties, he had 150, 160 ping. It was not ideal, but it's the same thing that the Southeast Asian players and the Oceanic players get every single day.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know how it scales, but people, their own preference. It just frustrated me, But that brings me to my next thing: the hosting servers, the hosting issue.
I'm curious.
I think War 3 Champions hit it on the head with this. They made like a roadmap of if you're from here, they took the algorithms, they took like what servers people get, what pings people get, and they made their own chart, like a flow chart, basically, where if you're in this situation, if you're from South America and you're from the West, then you play on here. And if you're, but there are some conflict servers. So for example, South America versus South America, it's always going to work on the South America server.
Wow.
But,
wow,
you know what I mean?
Revelation. Knowledge you only get on the Back to Warcraft podcast. Boom.
There you go. You get a little forehead place from the Tomato Man. But, the more regions that mix, like for example, Foggy in the Ukraine and Hitman in the West will always have one server's 60 versus 130, one's 130 versus or 150 versus whatever, right? But you're always going to have there is no middle ground. There is no one server that works for both players. So what they've decided to do, which is what I'm going to do for Dust League, is make a roadmap where if it's all green, you just use the good server. Like if it's Oceania versus Oceania, use the Oceania server. If it's if you're in a spot where you're US East against the US West, you go Central. Like that kind of shit, right? Yep. All 3 games. And then when you get in these conflict servers, which is the reason why Hitman doesn't play the War 3 Champions tournaments or any of these tournaments, is because there hasn't been a fair setting. It's really just been Europe Central for the most part. Mm-hmm. If you don't like it, kick rocks, because Europe is the bigger server, I guess. A lot more player base. But this time, there's a tournament that actually says, you know what? We understand it's unfair. You're going to have a good host one game. You're going to have a good host the other game, and then we're going to coin flip for an advantage. Maybe along the way, we'll give you some type of veto advantage if you do get the server disadvantage, which doesn't add up to the ping differential that you'll get. But what Dust League is going to do is basically piggyback off that. So I've already made a roadmap that I'm pretty confident with. I've talked to a bunch of players, including Hitman, including Sayso from Oceanic, including Europeans as well. And I talked to a few Asians as well, just to get like a roadmap of what you guys are the most comfortable with. And if you don't want to play it, that's fine. It is what it is.
It's what it is.
But this is the best the servers are going to get. This is the best conditions things are going to get. Offline will always be the cake. But we do need to start taking advantage of these cross server tournaments while we still have semblance of tournaments.
Why don't you there is an ability to add artificial latency, right, to a player's connection. So if it ends up being a situation where one player has an 80 ping and the other player has 130, why don't you add 50 ms to the player with the lower ping?
See, I don't think they've implemented that yet. I think that's a great idea. What do you mean it's in?
It's in. You can use it.
How do you use it?
That's a command, I think, for it.
Because I think what you should do is take the player with the lowest amount of ping to any server, and then you go to that, and then you just make that the same. I would love to do that, but are players going to play that? Because now it's even worse. I think
then it's a 130 ping instead of an 80 ping. Like that.
I think players still want to get the closest to 0 possible.
Yeah,
even if that means that.
I
think even if that means that someone has like a 30, 40 ping advantage, I think that's always going to be more ideal than forcing them both up more.
Yeah, but
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
You can't artificially reduce ping. You can only increase it, right? So I don't know.
No, but I'm saying that even a Foggy who has 130 ping would probably prefer to do 130, then 70, then 130, then 130, 130, 130.
Ah, yeah, you can do that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But like for game 3, adding ping would be better than a coin flip because then no one has an advantage. Or am I missing something?
So that's a great idea. So you get 70 to 130, then he gets 130 to 70, and then you both get 130, 130.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect.
See?
I don't know how to implement that. I would already have added that, or at least consulted with everyone to see if they would prefer that. But maybe they would prefer to take the risk. And if I get the coin flip, I get good ping. And if I don't, then that's the risk I took. Maybe they would prefer that because a lot of players are down with this coin flip. They understand at this point that they can't have their cake and eat it too. A lot of players, I think, have been under the delusion, well, I still want my server. I want my server no matter what. But I think right now, having talked to these guys, they're okay with, listen, I know it's shit. It's going to be, somebody's going to get fucked over. I understand that. As long as the rules are set in stone and there isn't controversy and there isn't like a debate, which is what I'm trying to do with Dust League. I'm putting the rules in stone. Before I invite you, I'm going to let you read them. If you don't want to play, that's fine. If you do want to play, this won't change throughout the season. I'm not going to later change my mind and fuck you over. These are the rules set in stone. Do you know what I mean? And I think if players have that concrete, you know what, this is fair. It's fair. And I think they'll want to play more. Of course, you'll have people that don't, but I think that's the best we're going to get.
There's one big issue here that you assume players read rules.
No. So I'm not one of those dopey admins that just like send a link and say, well, you're supposed to read it. Like, I think the important points for Dust League Super League coming up is the server implementation, because it's a big difference. We're mixing everyone. It's going to be Asia, Europe, and NA, and Oceanic. It's going to be everyone. It's going to be a server meant for top competition solo league. So I make it very clear that even the players that qualified from NA and EU, I would explicitly take those excerpts from the rules and copy paste it to them and say, do you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah, or just,
if you don't, I could take a call with you and break it down if you're confused, because I suck at reading and comprehension too. But like I want everyone to understand. And then as soon as you can get that foundation, then people know the standard. And I think this should be the standard.
I think so too.
And if players,
so you don't get the 15 sway issue from the World 3 Champions finals, where it wasn't, like, of course it wasn't the rules, etc., but probably not explained properly, or he didn't care, or whatever the issue.
Well, I think he thought that everyone would have the same ping, right? So he got 150, Happy's got 2, and he's like, well, fuck, like I didn't know that. But I think it make it very clear that, okay, your one game. Like, I would even break, like, you could show them the flow chart of hosting. You could say, so in this case where you play him, you'll both have 140. In the case that you play him, you'll have 90, 30, or like 9, you know what I mean? 90, 130, 130, 90 coin flip.
Yeah.
In this one, you'll have 20 ping because you're both, you know what I mean? So if players understand, and then in the bracket, they go, okay, I got this guy. I'm playing against Fish. This is going to be on US West. We're both going to have 140. It's going to suck. But as long as you know and understand, then players can make an informed decision.
Oh, I definitely agree, yeah. And I think it helps already if you have like 16 players or something, and you just get the ping table from them, like what's your connection to what server, and you have it all in an Excel list, so you know what's up, and you can do basically homework then, if you have that list. Of course, some players will be spiking on some servers, but maybe they can get a proxy then, that should fix it for most players, I think. And then you can work with these values. They won't be the same every day of the week at every hour, but it's an indicator, and then you can already narrow it down to what it's gonna be. Like that is, I think, what you should do. Like, if you want to sign up, send me a ping table. Boom.
Yep, and I think that's the best way to do it. That way players know. And honestly, if you're still scared of losing on those conditions, then don't play. Totally fine. I understand. But I do think there will be a lot of players that play and understand that this is the best it's going to get, I hope. And if not, then we'll just go back to regionals, and it is what it is. But I think War3 Champions did a great job with the servers. This is the best it's going to get. When Blizzard opens up their own ladder, they'll have 2 more servers maybe on top of their art. They won't be able to compete. They won't be able to fix the problems. This is the best it's going to get, and we have to act accordingly. I'm so sick of just waiting for a solution that I know isn't going to come. I think there's a good point to have cross-server games, and this is the best it's going to get. And at the end of the day, it's still better than the Zotac GGC days, where people were getting 240, 180, 200, 300.
Maybe people just have to get used to it again. Like,
yeah, we should bring back GGC and do a tournament and be like, oh, you guys hate this shit? Oh, really? Oh, you don't like that? We were doing this for fucking years, motherfucker. You don't like
just
that? Oh, okay.
Force them to play with these bad conditions from back in the day. But yeah, speaking of Blizzard, there was a patch this week.
What did they? I didn't even know. There's no notes. All they did was get rid of my maps. I can't open Concealed Hill replays anymore.
Oh, true. I think they changed something at Concealed Hill, where they erased some of the pathing blocks, and I think they added Tidehunters and Autumn Leaves, right? But
yes,
not to like ladder matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, but just to the folder. And there was something. Wait, there was a Reddit thread about it. I didn't even read it because I deleted everything from my phone.
They did something to Concealed Hill because poor Carson's doing Theorycraft Orc Day and he can't get a single Concealed Hill replay done because they fucked the maps. So yeah, something happened there. Poor guy. He's doing like NI and shit. I feel bad for him right now.
Wait, what's the thread saying? I'm happy to inform everyone that one of the updates from today fixed green rectangle bug. Now every gold mine shows green rectangle regardless. Okay, is that something to do with like right-clicking on gold mines to see what's up? I think so, that's cool. Okay, so yeah. Hotfix and a couple of like new maps for us. It's of course old news, but yeah. Cool that they're still working on it, but would be great to have patch notes. I reached out to the community manager of Europe, poor soul, is sailing that ship alone for all the games, but yeah, she'll probably get back to me at some point, and then we get clarification, or maybe even a thread. Want to do some Q&A, Ricky?
Yes,
because
I do.
I think, like, unfortunately, again, we want to tackle this topic of monetization and how to support.
I swear we put it in our notes every single episode.
Every time it just doesn't work out because we're talking too much about all the other stuff that we. Sorry, guys. Next week, promise.
Next week for sure. No, this was a good talk anyway. I don't mind the points we covered. I think people can get excited about cross server again. I think people can get excited about WGL. So I think those are important points to cover. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the Q&A here.
Ooh, yeah.
Rinaldi saying, has there been any announcements regarding how we might see the new Echo Isles introduced to the map pool tournaments? What has the general feedback been so far? Is it positive or negative? Is there anything else you can share about the map that would be super cool to hear? So this is actually a great point.
I think Echo we have Isles to tell everybody what the new Echo Isles is.
Yeah, I don't know if you could pull it up, but it's basically they revamped Echo Isles. It's available in the War 3 Champions folder 7.1. It's called Echo Isles V2 or version 2. And they've added an expansion. They've added a few more creeps. They've moved some creeps around, but it's basically the same Echo Isle creep camps. You still got the Merc camp. You still got the Murlocs. You still got the expansions, the regular expansions. They've added an expansion to the north, and they've added 2 extra green camps in the middle of the map. Just giving it a little bit extra spice. And that expo at the north is the equivalent to an expo in Amazonia. It's the Mud Golem, or the Rock Golem camp. I'm not sure if there's slow, but there is. It's a Rock Golem with Berserkers at the 16 position that you're seeing on the screen. So a little bit of change. Obviously, position 6 in the middle of the map. 2 green camps. They drop slippers. Obviously, you get pendant or that tier of item at the bottom. But the Merc camps are the same. The expansions are the same. The turtles in the bottom are the same. And I think the turtles used to be turtle Murloc, but now it's a big turtle with small turtles. So it's a little bit of difference. But the gist of Echo Isles is still there. And I think honestly, in the middle of the map, adding those 2 greens, the middle of the map was quite dead, quite barren at the beginning. So this is a great change. My first take, having opened it and looked, this could be exciting. That top expansion is very close to everyone's base. That could be an issue for Crypt Lord expansions, because if you hold that, it's kind of game over. And maybe we see players fighting for that top expansion more than the original expansion. So could be some dicey stuff, but it's definitely going to revamp the map, and it's definitely going to change the meta. How does that take over? I don't know. Tide Hunters is pretty much solidified in this map pool as far as I'm concerned. I love Tide Hunters. Autumn Leaves is used a lot. I'm not too thrilled about it personally, but it is used a lot. So I don't see Autumn Leaves and Tide Hunters getting removed from the current map pools. No. And then it's like, who do we replace to bring back a new version of Echo Isles?
Well,
maybe.
How about Echo Isles?
But some tournaments have already gotten rid of Echo Isles, haven't they?
No.
Oh, I thought like Echo Isles was removed.
No, it was.
I think we took it away from Dust League, I think, right?
I don't know what you do with your Dust League. It's TS and TM for DreamHack, and WGL just added 2 maps to the pool, so there's no map removed there. So Echo Isles is still in.
I have Echo Isles too. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
about. It's fine. It's getting late.
So I guess we're just replacing Echo with Echo. So what do you? I don't know. Try it out.
It's just like we replace Terna Stand with Terna Stand LV, right?
Thank God.
pretty much.
Dude, I joined a custom game and it was the old TS and I was like, oh my god, this map did suck.
It did suck. But hey, legendary games on that map as well. I love Echo Isles. It has a classic touch. I don't like it's if we do more map rotations, I think Echo Isles could definitely be a contender for such a map rotation if we want to do more of them. Personally, I didn't play one single game on this map. I didn't open it. I didn't do my homework. Sorry, teacher, put me in the book. But I think the approach is really, really cool. And I think that is very different from Remo's take on things, who wants all new maps. I think making existing maps better with simple changes can be really, really good to just build a working map pool for like 20 maps. And then we can do crazy rotations. Like...
Mm-hmm.
One
season
of DreamHack, you got 7 maps. For the second season of DreamHack, you rotate 5 out and keep 2 and take new maps from the existing pool. Just build a big pool of good maps. That sounds very arrogant and very ignorant of what the work is, but what I mean is you don't have to never use Terran Stand or Twisted or Echo Isles ever again. Just put them on the bench and work on them, make them better, and then bring them back, revamped, and see what the issues are. I think that is a very, very cool approach. For example, I would love to see a fix to Last Refuge with the creep camps, where the positioning is a little different as well. The problem is, of course, always... Critter RNG, exactly. The problem always is, of course, who starts to implement it, because if, for example, NetEase and DreamHack won't commit to this, then what do? You can, of course, implement it on War 3 Champions, but then you get rid of the Echo Isles the original Echo Isles on War 3 Champions that still played in other tournaments. So this one is really tricky, and the board of map makers have to convince all tournament organizers at the same time to go for that push, and that is indeed tricky. But I think it's doable. Mm-hmm. If someone cares, and I know Remo and all the others care a lot. This is mapped, by the way, by Save Orcas, who is one of our wonderful Patreons. Thank you very much for that. So I
wait, Save Orcas made the new EI?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Way to go, man.
Yeah, man. He does everything. Support us, mapping, just being a good lad. Very good.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
okay, that's cool, man.
I really love this approach because a lot of people also don't like new things. Just to get used to them and learn them, etc., etc. This could be a cool middle ground to keep things fresh and nostalgic at the same time. I love it.
I think there's a realm where both can exist.
Exactly.
I like the idea of like new maps or brand new face, right? Like the Tide Hunters and Autumn Leaves. Those concepts worked. Yeah. They were brand new. People were hesitant at the start, but now they're right in the mix. And then there's, of course, the Terran Stand example where if we just removed it, we wouldn't have this TSLV version where it's like great games as well. So I like the concept of revamping existing maps, and I like the concept of bringing in new ones. I think they can both coexist. I think it's totally fine. I think it is a struggle for map makers to try to push this narrative, but the players will do that for you. Like look at WGL. WGL's at least NetEase have brought in the new maps, right? So eventually it took them a little bit longer than ESL or any of the smaller like grassroots tournaments to bring them in, but I think it's definitely doable. We know that we can do this, and yeah, kudos to any people that are working on maps right now, because first of all, you're doing a good job, and second of all, we need them. Yeah, and if you have a map in the pool that has clear flaws, like Echo Isles, of course, being a little empty with only 2 expansions for like in total, or Amazonia getting very stale, or Last Refuge having this critter issue, or the freaking stupid arcs on Concealed Hill that have to go. They block vision. It's stupid. They don't add anything. Just put a pole there or something, but don't block my vision. Get rid of it. Hate it. But yeah, clear flaws, then fix them and update them and use the new ones. Sounds easier as it actually is, but what the map making scene did in the past 6 months, I think, or even more, is incredible. Like, they went from no one's really respecting them too much, and no one's even thinking about new maps too much, to
hey, this is all way too stale. We gotta crack up that shell. We gotta revamp a lot, and we have to like need fresh input. And everybody listened. The small cups listened. DreamHack listened. WGL over in China listened, and even now Blizzard is adding them to the map folder, even though it's not in the ladder pool yet, or whatever they call it, matchmaking ladder map pool, whatever. But yeah, they did it. Hella proud of the mapping community.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great question, though. I would love to see this version introduced, see how the players work with it. Echo Wilds is one of those maps that I think needs to be looked at. So I think it's a great question. Another follow-up question from Rinaldi is, one issue I have as someone with a job or a life is knowing about the various events and tournaments happening around the world. Basically, if Back to Warcraft doesn't cover an event, did it even happen? There we go, baby! Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. How would I even go about following these events that you guys aren't covering? What can we do to make this easier for people? This is a huge problem. Yeah. And I think as our team of Back to Warcraft, we look at events and we go out of our way to try to cover them, because there's a lot of really good tournaments that fall on the back burner. And that could be a manpower issue or whatever, just like scheduling or whatever. But there's a lot of tournaments going on. For example, if we didn't cast next, I think nobody would even know it existed. Probably safe to say. I didn't even know it was on until we scheduled to do it. So what can you do as an outsider that doesn't have like the obviously we're in the know, so we know when stuff's happening. What can you use? Big key. Obviously, the Back to Warcraft calendar, if we are casting it, it's a real thing. It's on, and you can actually know what time it's on. But if we're not casting it, which is also Liquipedia calendar is probably the second best output. I check that every day. They have an upcoming matches. They have the leagues in time, relatively like it's from when it's first starting to like about 3, 4, 5 days in advance, sometimes a week in advance. The Liquipedia main page for Warcraft 3, the upcoming events, that is pretty much always updated due to the hard work of Stoka and other Liquipedia editors that are implementing this. Those guys are insane. They are more active than any of us, and they are insanely good at keeping that updated. First of all, Back to Warcraft, are we going to be casting it? Because if we are, watch our shit. Second of all, Liquipedia, well, if it's on, maybe, and of course there's conflicts. We'll do something sometimes at the same time of another tournament. Maybe you want to watch the 2v2 tournament that we're not covering because we're doing a 1v1. So I think Liquipedia is a great way for you guys to just see what's up. You could check it every day and see what's going on. But if you have another answer.
Yeah, I would think that War 3 info is even better, especially for casual viewers, because you see what's up, because they implement or they import all that's happening from Liquipedia and put it on the sidebar, right? They have their own calendar as well. Their calendar looks a little cleaner, so I like that a little more. And you see what, like, if there's a tournament live right now, you see that it's live on the right-hand side, and you see who's streaming it. So that makes things easier, I guess, than Liquipedia, because you don't really know from Liquipedia who's streaming it unless you click on, like, 2 or 3 things or so. So War 3 info, definitely better, but I think the scene, and this includes Back to Warcraft for sure, is doing a shit job in previewing and reviewing tournaments. So I did that for a little while. It was called the Warcraft Observer, where I summed up one week and gave a preview to the other and talked about some news as well. So this is probably helpful, because it could be a 5-minute YouTube thing where people with jobs and not too much focus can just check it out. What's up this week? What did I miss? Maybe a little development in ELO ranks included there as well, like a little bit Sports Center-esque, like a sports show thingy. That would be really, really cool. Or Reddit posts. I did them as well for like 4 weeks or 5 weeks, just to sum up what's going on, where can you play, what can you watch, what is the big tournaments, what's the grassroots tournaments, and I put that on Reddit. It's pretty easy to do. You just have to copy paste, I guess, and do a table. But yeah, as I was pretty much burned out, I kind of cut that off of my workload. But yeah, this is something that I guess has to come back. And what I love is from other tournaments, there's always these threads on Reddit, right? Like congrats to the winner of next summer, or to WGL winter, and then of course with a spoiler in the title, etc., or with a spoiler in the post, and then you make people aware that there's so many awesome tournaments going on. You can give a little bit of recap, and it doesn't even have to. It's just creating a space where people talk about this tournament. I think that's really, really, really important. Obviously, we don't want to do that for every single cup, but maybe the skill cups can just do a summary post at the end of the week to just sum up, hey, these are our winners, this is what's going on next week, so boom, there you go. For like a next, for WGL, for a Doyu tournament, for a DreamHack, we should definitely do that. And it's, once again, such a super easy thing. It's literally less than a sentence that you that's the title and the winner and submit. Like, that's it. Yeah, we don't have too much focus on that. Maybe after my break, I will try to restart this sports show thingy again, or you do it. If you want to be the host for that, hit me up. Yeah,
that would be something if you guys want to do that, like recapping and then also following into the what's going to come up next. That could be a thing in itself. If anyone wants to step up and reach out and be like, "Hey, I'll do it." You want to?
Yeah, last time I just did a PowerPoint presentation with a couple of results and screenshots. Like, that's it. You don't need fancy video editing, which would be even more amazing, obviously. But yeah, this is something that has to come back in the long run, I think. And I definitely agree that's really, really hard to follow if you're not balls deep into the scene. Like, for just a casual viewer with growing interest, it's really not easy. So Liquipedia, of course, Warcraft3.info, and hopefully Reddit. If you guys like, it's always hard to put that on one person's shoulder. With Reddit, you can be such a hive mind where, oh, nobody does it, let me be the one, and go for it. You can be the one. You right there, you that are listening right now, laying in your bed or going for a walk or running a little bit, or I don't know, maybe you. Anyway, very good question, very good point, very important point.
I agree. And I think if you use all three of those, chances are if you miss an event, it's impossible. you're gonna know when it is and what it is. So those three working hand in hand, pretty good. Also, the big benefit to War3 Info League is, or War3 Info, Warcraft3.info, is they have the Do You and the Africa streams as well.
Yeah.
Ticker on the left. So if there's an event, you can actually see maybe Infi or Ted is doing a different event as well. So good cross thing there as well, outside of Back2Warcraft, that is. One more question from Toxie is, what's your perspective on turning something you love to do as a hobby into a job? Would you consider switching to another game as a caster or work in some other capacity in the esports gaming scene? And did it change your relationship to the game itself and how much you enjoy it? Let's answer those one by one. But Neil, we'll start with you. What's your perspective on turning something you love to do as a hobby, which is casting Warcraft 3, into a job? Because for you, it's your actual career.
It's a tough one to answer. So the common thing would be, like, there's two choices really, right? Like, if we look at it a black and white perspective, either you say it's so much fun and it doesn't feel like working, so it's awesome, or you say it ruined my passion for what I like, the passion I had before, so I hate it now. But it's not really the case. Like, nothing, like, neither of them are really the case for me, at least. So I still love watching the games. There's barely anything that gets me as excited as this. What I really don't like and what I got really sick of, and this is why I take this vacation, is the things around it, like the work around it. But it's also due to our high standards. Like, if we would, that we have to ourselves, I guess. If we would just do what we want, we wouldn't be as successful as we are right now, but it would also be a lot less stressful, right? So this just goes with the job. I certainly love some aspect of the job, and I certainly hate some aspects of the job. I could not, like, I know a friend who was always a big fan of music and then started a career in the music business, and she hates it now because you kind of have to force yourself through shit music that you really, really hate. And yeah, that's horrible, and I don't know, not really the case for me.
Would you consider switching to another game as a caster,
or
work in production for like another thing? Or
yeah, I mean, at some point we have to, right? Like this won't go on for like 40 years or something. So I'm definitely interested in production, that's for sure. And then it really doesn't matter what it is, what game it is, because I enjoy creating broadcasts no matter for what. Like I could produce chess and it could be cool if you come up with nice challenges. Yeah, certainly. But yeah, I think if we leave this game, it's dead. So it won't happen anytime soon.
Do you, one more on the first question, did you ever think that the channel would get to where it's at now, and how does that feel for you? Because I mean, when you're casting, like were you doing radio commentaries before?
Yeah, we did.
So like, yeah, you're basically just throwing shit out and trying to hope it sticks. But like, you know, what's your perspective on turning something you love to do as a hobby into a job? Like, this is like, did you ever see this channel being as big? And like, what are the things that make it really worth it for you?
Like, in the beginning, the best thing I could see was like work at ESL or something for that, which never really happened. But starting this myself, like, never ever. But you get used to success quite a bit because it's always progress, right? You don't get 6,000 people out of nowhere. It's just steady process from 100 viewers to 200 to 500, and then one event you crack 1,000. That's the best feeling in the world. And then you plateau a bit, but then you crack 2K and stuff. And if you're at 2K, or if you peak at 2K, the 1K looks, of course, pretty bad from that one, which was at one point the best moment in your life, and then it kind of sucks to only get 1K. So it's really hard to get satisfaction from anything for me, because I always see what we could do better, what we could do next. So I'm never really too egocentric on the thing. Like, I don't brag about it too much. I didn't see like a golden future. It was even risky going full time when Reforged came out. Like, it was a big step, but that got me worried for. We could have, in hindsight, we could have and should have done it a lot earlier though. But it's cool that we can do this. This is something that makes me proud for sure. That it's working somehow. This is a thing that shouldn't work. Like, 4 people getting money from casting Warcraft 3 in 2021. This is a thing that shouldn't exist. Like. But how is it for you? For you, it's a lot fresher than for me. It's not your full-time job, but it's still a job, and sometimes the cast is a grind.
Yeah, I think I've been in like Warcraft 3 and like esports for a long time, and I've always loved, like, fantasized about the idea of getting paid for what you do, whether that's like a manager for like a pro team, like joining Cloud9 as like the Warcraft 3 coach or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's been my initial one. I've always wanted to like join a pro team and get paid for that. But like this avenue I took was at the start, like I said, I didn't even want to cast Dust League. I wanted Carson to cast, and then we'd bring in guests, and I would just produce and run a good tournament because I was good at adminning. So I thought. Well, so I think, right? I don't know. I guess that's subjective. But how is it for me? I 100% relate with if the numbers aren't as good as yesterday, it's a fucking plateau, without actually looking at, wait, dude, you have 1,000 viewers. Like, when I first did Dust League on the Back to Warcraft channel, I was shitting bricks because I was like, the only thing I didn't want was for you to say, nah, we're not interested anymore. So I think like when we had like 500 viewers, and then I remember one time we got 800, and I was like, fuck yeah. And then we got like 1,000, and I was like, that's it. We made it, baby. We're locked in, 1,000 people watching at 12 o'clock at night. Let's go. And then like now I think I look at numbers differently. I look at like, oh shit, we got like 1,200. That's a bad stream compared to the 4,600 viewers we got the other day. And I think that's a bad way to look at things. Because at the end of the day, those numbers are terrific. And
it should never be a bad stream because of numbers, by the way. It should just be a bad stream if you really fuck up, but numbers don't mean too much.
And I agree with what you do. Is I don't really look at numbers anymore. I look at the product, and sometimes they go hand in hand. Like if I fuck up production, or if there's a long delay or something like that, bothers me more than viewership.
True.
Because I think like for something like ESL Europe, the players will do it themselves. All I have to do is have good, clean production. I don't even have to have good casting. I just need to kind of just coast.
That's actually true.
And everyone will just enjoy it. So when you look at it that way, yeah, it doesn't stress me out anymore. Has it? Would I consider switching to another game as a caster? It would really depend. I think like the reason why I enjoy casting right now is because I work with Giannis and Remo and Carson and sometimes Todd, and they are like the huge. I don't think I would do it by myself. To be very honest with you. So they would have to come with me or be with me in some capacity. Although I do like other things about esports. Like I love marketing. I love working with other companies and like interacting and doing that. Cause I would love a marketing job in esports later on if Back to Warcraft wasn't a thing, but I don't see Back to Warcraft going anywhere anytime soon.
Just up, baby. We're going up.
Yeah, and how would to follow it up? How did this change the relationship to the game? So big time. So I never really knew shit about the game. I just love watching it. I never really understood the nuances. So this job, the casting, has let me watch games differently. Where I just watch to be entertained. Now I watch to learn what's going on. So I think it's definitely given me a much higher game IQ. I've had a much higher game IQ in the last year than I've had in 15 years. And that's me going out of my way to...
That can be bad, though. Oh, man, this is an XXL episode already. But I think this can be bad. If you have a very good game IQ, you oftentimes know what's up, and you can't really get too surprised anymore. This is why I don't learn anything about the game. I just refuse to still get excited.
Wow, that's a great point, man, because how many times can you watch the Orc Grunt Shaman against Archer Hunt? If you know what's going on, you're not as entertained. If you don't know shit, then it's always good. You don't really even realize you're seeing the same shit over and over again.
Boom.
I'm realizing I see the same shit over and over again. That's a really good fucking point.
Yeah.
Maybe ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, and this is why you have ideally a two-piece broadcast where one of the guys is an idiot but gets excited and the other is knowledgeable and can explain all the stuff. Yeah, exactly. I think we know where
we know our roles.
Know your role. Like The Rock said, we listen. But yeah, I would, of course, love to learn so much, but I have to hold myself back when it comes to knowledge in the game for the sake of your entertainment there at home, buddies.
There we go. That's a good point. I think it's great, though. I'm really happy to be on this team. It's a dream, really. It's fucking cool. It's really team. Cool. It's awesome. Good questions, though. Really good questions this week from the Q&A. If you guys have more, feel free to drop some. If you guys are watching and you have another follow-up, don't hesitate in the Back to Warcraft Discord. Reach out in the Q&A spot. Ask some more questions. We really appreciate that.
What we also appreciate is if you follow and subscribe to our podcast. It's very important on Spotify, on Google Podcast, on whatever it's called with Apple right now. I think Apple Podcasts or something. Just hit the follow button, hit the sub button, give us a rating if there's an option for that. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube. That always helps. And if you want to be really, really generous, like a couple of people that we will read in a bit, you can sub to our Patreon as well.
Yeah, those people are important to us, and they are the Profiteer and Bidoux, Jay Gatz and Don Delare. We have the Midas tier, Scription, Save Orcas, who we talked about as making EI. I didn't even know that, but we love you, dude. Nem, Teggy, and Toxie, of course. We took a question from Toxie earlier today, and the Golden Goat, which is Nubaquakes. Big shout outs to you guys. You guys go above and beyond, and you deserve the recognition. We love you guys so much.
Absolutely true. You can find us on patreon.com/Back2Warcraft. There, of course, you find all the perks you get. 6 different tiers. 5 are still available. And you can pick from €2 to $50 a month to support the channel the best way you can. We can. Whatever. That's it, Ricky. See you next week.
Yep, you're going to bed. Back to bed for another 3-week slumber. See you later. So we'll see you next week, Neo.